Insurance stocks after those comments have come off between 5 and 7%, depending on which name you really look at. We have Nilesh Sathe, former IRDAI member, who is joining in, someone who really looks at the space pretty closely. Mr. Sathe, good morning. It's always a pleasure having you here with us. Now, there is absolutely, the finance minister is absolutely correct. I mean, insurance products should not be missold, and customers should not be saddled with bad products, and absolutely correct. Why is the market worried? Because there was also a hint that maybe banks should focus on their core activities, right? Not so much on allied activities like selling insurance products. Now, banks are the largest channel for sale of insurance products across the board. How do you look at this entire thing? It's not a directive. I mean, it's the FM urging, but your sense, sir?
No, good that FM has raised this issue. MisSelling has to be stopped altogether. One correction, banks are not the biggest channel. It is the second biggest channel. The individual agents still dominate the market. Second biggest channel definitely is bank assurance, which is called Banca channel. And the third is brokers and all that. So any channel for that matter who is misselling, strict action needs to be taken. Now, why misselling may be happening in case of banks? One is probably there may be a directive from the top that your fee-based income must go up and they must have some targets. There is no reason to give targets for this, because if somebody is borrowing, then to the extent of his credit, which he is taking, he needs to be insured, because in case of his death, how the recovery of loan will be made. But while doing so also, you should not force the customer to buy a product which the bank wants him to buy. And that is why IRDAI initially, when it found that especially the banks which have got insurance companies, they are marketing products only of their insurance companies. IRDAI said you should tie up with two more insurance companies and give option to the customers to buy. This was one. So many banks which are selling insurance products have now tied up with three insurance companies, and now IRDAI has allowed them to tie up with nine life, 9 general, and 9 health. But then the fact remains that there are many cases of misselling in case of banks. And good that the chairman IRDAI as well as Honorable Finance Minister, they have got this into their radar, and something should happen. But then why it is happening? Probably the reason is IRDAI is also responsible for this, because initially there used to be commission regulations in which the highest rate of commission that can be paid was prescribed by IRDAI, and any violation in that would be seen very seriously. Unfortunately, it has now been removed and merged with the expense of management regulation. Means overall, if you are within the total expenses of management, then whatever rate of commission you want to pay or whatever benefits you want to pay, you can pay to the distributors. That is something which, in my opinion, is not correct. There needs to be a ceiling on commission. This is one part.
Specifically on commissions. Yeah.
Ceiling on commission, yes.
Yeah, not merged with the expense of management. Mr. Sathe, yeah, absolutely. For our viewers and investors, is the Banca channel under threat, in your opinion?
I don't think it is under threat. Actually, Banca channel really has spread the insurance to the nooks and corners of the country, because individual agents cannot reach there where the bank branches are there. So obviously, it has definitely helped the insurance sector to perform better, to increase their spread and penetration. But at the same time, what happens, the bank manager is so powerful that if he says that you buy this policy because I am giving you loan, the fellow even doesn't apply his mind and think whether this is really required for me or it is useful to me.
You are very well connected in the industry, and you speak with has a directive gone down about sort of asking banks right from the top to stop offering incentives, commissions, targets, basically, as you said, for insurance sales? Has that happened? And because of all of this, will insurance sales go down, in your opinion, through the Banca channel? Will the end result be that?
Prashant, I don't think it will go down, but it needs to be streamlined, in the sense there has to be some methodology in selling, You should not keep on somebody comes for a fixed deposit and you are giving him a single premium policy. That is not correct. But at the same time, even the customers also should look at the policy when he receives, that if it is really useful for me, is it the one which I want? And if not, IRDA has now prescribed that within 30 days you can return the policy and say that I'm not interested in this. That can be done. But then not many are aware of it. Again, there may be some pressure from the branch manager. So the question is, that is insurance education is required, no doubt about it. People should be more careful while buying insurance and should not blindly follow what maybe the branch manager or somebody is saying. Not just branch manager, even the agents are also mis-selling. I'm not saying they are not. But then because FM has raised about banks, probably it has come to the limelight. But mis-selling needs to be curbed.
Absolutely, sir. And as someone who has tracked personal finance on this channel for many, many years and who feels strongly about the issue, I totally take your point that as customers, we need to be far more aware and ask questions beyond, isme kitna milega? We are too fixated on returns, and that's where the mis-sellers have a field day, right? So yes, it is joint responsibility. But having said that, it's also fair. I mean, while in a letter, it's easy to return a policy in 30 days, like you're saying. In spirit, it's not. I mean, you ask people when it comes to giving back their policies or stopping policies is still not very easy. So coming back to the central question.
No. I differ with you. It is very easy. And a lot of people, they do make use of this free look cancellation.
Yeah.
And the entire amount of money which is paid by them is returned. And if they do not return it within the prescribed time, interest is to be paid on that.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. The framework is there. Now, coming back to the central question, however, now that this has been raised at the highest level by the finance minister herself, do you expect a change in functioning at least at PSU banks? And do you expect the influence of the Banca channel to go down? Will, at least in PSU banks, will we see lesser push? So will policy sales go down?
See, number one, as it is, the share of PSU banks in the total Banca channel is not significant. Significant is of the private sector banks. But yes, targets are given. Now probably proper monitoring will be done, at least in case of public sector banks. And if at all mis-selling cases are brought to the notice of top management, how many free look cancellations have been made, if that is noted, then probably proper action will be taken against the branch managers who are forcefully selling the policies as mis-selling. No doubt about it. But good that this has percolated down, and the chairman of the CMDs of the public sector banks as well as private sector banks, I'm sure will take the advice of Honorable Finance Minister very seriously, and they must take. So there is no justification for mis-selling or forced selling, I will say.
But again, to my question, whether policy sales will come off, you think no, right? Should not.
No, I'm not of
because
that
of
view.
this.
It will not impact much. It will not impact much. Because see, out of the total policies sold by banks, the policies so-called mis-sold is a very small, meager percentage, but it is still there. Now, nothing wrong in curbing it. It will not impact the overall sale because it is not everybody is selling policy wrongly to the customers. It is not so. There are a few elements which, in order to maybe for getting promotion, how much target you have achieved out of so on and so forth. There are many things. A couple of bad elements in the banks probably are doing it the way they should not do it. And if that is stopped, I'm 100% sure that it will not impact the overall sale of bank assurance channel.
Okay. Mr. Sathe, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure and great clarity. And thank you for explaining that entire issue to us and our viewers as well. Appreciate it. I think we got